I be popping bottles, sparkles and champagne. VIP my section, royalty looking sexy, you know.
Have you ever wondered how heavy ships float in the water? Or how a cork smoothly glides on the surface, while a rock sinks all the way down? This is caused by Archimedes' principle.
Hello and hi to all the people all over the world. We are XARON, and we will be presenting about Archimedes' principle. But before we get into this video, let's introduce the members. The first member is me. Yeah, the cute guy that wearing the green vest. My name is Darwish. The second member is Faiz. This good looking guy is the leader for our group. The third member is the coolest guy I have ever known, and his name is Koyum. And last but not least is our editor, Zarif, or better known as Abe. And together we are XARON. And now Koyum will take it over.
Archimedes' principle, which states that any object, when either fully or partially submerged in a fluid, will receive a force equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. What this means is that when an object is in water, to make space for the object, some fluid now needs to move somewhere else. Let's call this displacement. Now, the fluid displaced will have mass, and therefore we can calculate the weight of this displaced fluid. The weight that we find is equal to the force applied to the object. This force, known as buoyant force, is what pushes the object upwards in water. How exciting! But what can we do to observe this phenomenon? Let's find out. Now, who wants to play with balloons? We can observe buoyant force through some balloons and a basin of water. Notice that the balloon floats on the surface. This is because the balloon is less dense than the water. And when it is submerged, the displaced water supplies enough buoyant force to counter the downward force, which is the weight of the object. Hence, the net force acted is zero, and the balloon remains afloat on the surface of the water at a constant level. Now, when the balloon is pushed downwards and even more water gets displaced, the buoyant force is now greater than the weight of the object. Therefore, there is now a net force going upwards, and that's why we can see the balloon shooting out of the water. How interesting! Here, we have a Eureka can with water, some plasticine, and a beaker. A Eureka can is a can with an open shaft attached to it, and it allows us to measure the weight of the fluid displaced, which means that we can find the buoyant force acted on the object. It is important to note that buoyant force affects all objects immersed in fluid, regardless if it sinks or floats. Now, as we can see, as the plasticine is dropped into the Eureka can, water exits through the shaft into the empty beaker. If we calculated the weight of the water displaced using the formula weight equals mass times gravitational acceleration, which is a constant, we can find the buoyant force acted on the plasticine. That's pretty neat.
That is all from our group for today. Thank you so much for listening throughout the whole video. We hope that you learned a thing or two about the Archimedes principle. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.